16-year-old Keon Sam is Toronto's latest murder victim after he was fatally shot inside a Tim Hortons at Bellamy and Lawrence. That was yesterday afternoon.
Well, 3 Peel Regional police officers, they've been suspended in connection with a corruption and organized crime investigation. It led to charges against 7 Toronto police officers.
Premier Doug Ford is ruling out a public inquiry into the Eglinton Crosstown LRT. The long-delayed and over-budget transit line is set to open this Sunday.
Environment Canada has issued 2 weather alerts for Toronto. We are under a yellow warning for cold and a special weather statement.
This is Live at 5. Hi, everybody. I'm Liz West.
I'm Bakari Savage. Welcome to Live at 5. Police have identified the teenager killed in a shooting inside a Tim Hortons in Scarborough. They say 16-year-old Keon Sam was shot inside the restaurant at Bellamy and Lawrence yesterday afternoon. Right now, let's go live to CP24's Beatrice Vaisman. Beatrice, you are outside Agincourt Collegiate. This is where Keon Sam went to high school. You've been there all day. What have you heard?
Well, Bakari, I've been talking to students here outside of Agincourt Collegiate Institute, and what they tell me is that Keon Sam would have been in grade 11. He was a student here at some point, though none of them saw him around the school this school year, but they describe him as a gifted athlete. In the photo that Toronto Police put out, you saw Keon Sam there wearing what looks like a basketball jersey, and that's really kind of the clothing item that he wore most often. The kids that I've been talking to describing him as just a gifted athlete. In fact, he went to a basketball camp of NBA player Chris Paul, now a Toronto Raptor, back in September 2022 in Atlanta. And today, some of his classmates are remembering his enthusiasm on the court. Here's a bit of what I heard.
It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it, but it was I don't know. It was a bit sad, that's all. I know that he's a really good basketball player. He was always really nice, and he just spread kindness.
Yeah. Do you know what you've heard what happened to him?
Yeah, I did.
And I guess, how does that make you feel, knowing?
It's just very unfortunate, and it's so bad that young people are dying these days. It's not good.
It was just actually over 24 hours ago, Bakari and Liz, that this deadly shooting happened inside of a Tim Hortons restaurant at Lawrence and Bellamy, just around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. That's when police say they responded after someone was shot. There were lots of other patrons, some staff members inside that restaurant when this happened. Thankfully, no one else was struck by gunfire, but first responders did the best they could. They tended to Keon Sam. He was rushed to hospital. Chopper 24 was over the scene as he was loaded into an ambulance and taken to hospital, where he unfortunately and tragically died of his injuries. Police have not said anything about suspects, whether there was one person involved, multiple suspects, and no descriptions, nor have they said anything about the circumstances and possible motive for this homicide. Back to that basketball camp, though, Chris Paul's basketball camp, where Keon Sam was a camper back in 2022. The camp providing a statement to CP24 saying, during his time on the court with us, Keon showed us a genuine love for basketball and brought tremendous effort and energy to the floor. Our thoughts are with Keon's family, friends, teammates, and the entire Toronto basketball community. We extend our sincerest condolences and join all those mourning the loss of a young life taken too soon. So this young man, 16 years old, now the second homicide victim here in the city in 2026. Certainly homicide detectives urging anyone who may have information about Keon Sam's deadly shooting to contact them or Crime Stoppers. Bakari and Liz.
Okay, live outside of Agincourt Collegiate, CP24's Beatrice Vaisman.
And get ready to bundle up. A cold warning is in effect for the GTHA. Environment Canada says wind chills near -30 are expected tonight into tomorrow morning. Similar conditions are expected Saturday night into Sunday. There's also a special weather statement in effect. Strong winds are late today, could ease this evening, and the winds could also cause local blowing snow.
This is a clipper from Western Canada. It's coming in via of Northern Ontario, and it's affecting the area from Wawa to Windsor, but not Ottawa. But certainly in the GTA, it's there. And we have the threat of cold air. It may be the coldest air of the entire winter. We've had a lot of cold air, And so we may get down to wind chill values of minus 30, minus 35, and that is quite dangerous.
Sure is. The city says its warming centers remain open to help bring vulnerable people in from the cold. The city also says surge and additional shelter spaces remain open, and there are extended hours at daytime drop-in centers. A list of locations can be found on the city's website.
And we continue to follow the latest is in the fallout from Project South. That's the organized crime and corruption probe, which led to the arrest of 7 Toronto police officers. Peel Police has suspended 3 of its officers in relation to this investigation. And we're also hearing more from Toronto's police chief today. Right now, let's bring in CP24 CJ Liu to bring us up to speed. CJ.
Bakari, Liz, this has been called one of the largest corruption scandals in Toronto police history, and we're learning today that it is widening beyond Toronto police. We have been reaching out to neighboring police services to see if any of their officers have been implicated, and Peel Regional Police has confirmed to us that 3 of its officers have been suspended in connection to this organized crime and corruption probe. In a statement to us, Peel Police say no officers have been charged in relation to Project South, adding that the York Regional Police investigation is wide-reaching and ongoing. The 3 officers remain suspended administratively pending further review by York Regional Police. Now, this all comes just a day after York Regional Police laid out explosive allegations involving 7 Toronto police officers and 1 retired officer, all now facing a combined 46 charges. These investigations allege it centers around a plot to murder a senior corrections officer at his home in Markham, and that confidential police information was leaked to organized crime figures. We're also hearing allegations of drug trafficking and bribery. Now, the province's Inspector of General Policing says it's considering an independent review following a request from Toronto Police Chief Myron Demkew. Here's more from Toronto Police Chief Myron Demkew on these explosive allegations today.
My responsibility is the operations of the Toronto Police Service, including the good order and discipline of this organization. And in this particular case, when I was made aware of this, we did commit, as I said, every resource necessary to York Regional Police. I think it's important to recognize we also supported the conflict of interest provision of the Community Safety Policing Act, which requires, in circumstances like this, another agency to investigate us. And I took a very firm position that we will maintain the integrity of the investigation and adhere to the conflict of interest provisions of the Act.
And much of the conversation that we're hearing now from officials is about accountability and rebuilding trust in policing. Earlier today, we spoke to Nick Kay, who is a criminal defense lawyer. He touched on the far-reaching consequences of this case for Toronto police.
There is a vast array of officers involved, and it's interesting because you look at the ranks of those officers, the age of those officers, and their tenure of service. I mean, this scandal, these corruption allegations go all the way essentially to the tops of the echelons here. We've got sergeants, veterans of the police force. We've got retired officers. And then we've got officers at the bottom who are in their early 20s who likely have been officers for just a couple of years and are just low-level constables.
And today there is a bail hearing for Officer Timothy Barnhart. He is one of the officers facing 17 charges, which is the most of any of the officers charged. Some of those allegations include drugs, guns, and providing an address linked to that alleged murder plot. As of right now, we don't know if his bail is denied or approved, but Bakari and Liz will bring you that update as soon as we get it.
Okay, joining us live from the 401 studio, CP24 CJ Liu.
That's right. It's 5:09. -3 feels like -9. This is Live at 5.
And up next, the CEO of the provincial agency that runs GO Transit is apologizing to riders for major delays and disruptions since a train derailed near Union Station earlier this week.
Welcome back. Now let's check on the commute with CP24 traffic specialist Adjoa Nsea-Yeboah. Adjoa?
Liz, been watching quite the busy drive for commuters. They're just trying to make their way home from work and school. So if you're one of those commuters, here's what's going on and try to get you through. So this is the 401 headed westbound, just past Islington 409. So you'll find that left lane blocked still with the cleanup of a much earlier collision involving a transport truck. One of the trucks that was involved is cleared. The flatbed still remains. And if you're traveling through the area, very slow on the approach. And then on the 401 headed on the eastbound side, no issues, still very busy, 427 all the way out towards Leslie. Then we are still dealing with problems that may be clearing soon. This is the 403 westbound, just as you make the approach to here, Ontario. Center lane out, that is following a stalled vehicle. And it remains very busy on the 400 northbound. If you're trying to get into Vaughan, the delays start pretty much from before Highway 7, and they continue outside of my camera view all the way up towards about Major Mac. On City Street, speaking of Major Mac, we're dealing with a collision on Dufferin and Major Mac.
This CP24 traffic report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Enjoy the journey with a stress-free commute.
Well, sending it over now to Adrian Grundy at the TTC Control Center. Adrian, just checking in to see what's going on TTC and if anything is impacting commuters.
Yeah, thanks, Adrian. All's looking pretty good at the moment. We've got normal service running right now on lines 1, 2, 4. And also running well on line 6 today. Also out on the streetcar network, everything's looking pretty good. Downtown's running smoothly. None of that traffic congestion holding us up that is usual on a non-Friday night rush hour. We do have one bus diversion to speak of. That's the 87, still being hampered by some snowbanks in the east end there. That's diverting eastbound via Woodbine and Lumsden. Now, just a reminder, tomorrow, no service on line 4 Shepherd. It will be replaced by shuttle buses. We're doing some signal work. Check ttc.ca for all the information. Liz Bakari, back to you.
Okay. Adrian Grundy, thanks a lot for that update. Well, Premier Doug Ford has ruled out calling a public inquiry. This is into the Eglinton Crosstown LRT with the long overdue and over budget line just 2 days away from opening. CP24's Melissa Duggan joins us with more. Melissa.
Hey, Bakari, hey, Liz. Listen, if all goes as planned, this is the final weekday evening rush without the Eglinton Crosstown LRT because it is set to open on Sunday, by the way, free for anyone to ride Line 5 all day long. As part of the grand opening, not a lot of fanfare expected for it all. Today, though, we did hear from all 3 levels of government getting together for a plaque unveiling, acknowledging that, yes, it is set to open on Sunday. And it was during that time that questions were put to Premier Doug Ford, asking him if he thought that a public inquiry was needed into this transit line because it is 6 years overdue. It is more than $1 billion over budget. Should there be some sort of an investigation here? Well, we've been talking to people in this area today, asking them what they think about that prospect. Have a listen. Why do you think there should be an inquiry?
Because at first, I think there was a different timeline that was given, and now it has taken too long of a time to be ready. Yeah. And I don't think it's going to be ready completely because it's going to take it's going to be slow at first, and then they're going to be aiming to be full.
Absolutely, because that encourages accountability.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So.
What sort of questions do you want to have answered if there were some sort of an investigation?
Oh, well, I'd like to know why it took so long, just for example, that and also how many years would it take for another train to get put in if we ever had that happen? You know?
There are others I've talked to today who say that, you know what, don't go for the inquiry, saying it's a waste of time. And that's precisely the language that we heard from Premier Doug Ford today. He says that, he thinks that, yes, this process of getting this Line 5 online, that it was a nightmare 100%. But he says that there isn't a need for a public inquiry. Let's let him explain.
We are transparent, and that's a little offensive saying we aren't. I'm out in the press more than any elected official in the country. You ask me every question you possibly can. So I think we're being pretty transparent. I just want to move forward. I want to start continuing to build the other subway lines as quickly as possible.
So we're standing near Eglinton and Vic Park right now. Of course, this is one of the areas where there is a stop for the Eglinton Crosstown LRT, one of 25 stops along this 19-kilometer route that we'll see the trains start running with passengers on board starting on Sunday. Again, it is free all day. And what we're hearing from the TTC is that they're encouraging people to board at different stops along the line. So don't just go to Kennedy on one end or Mount Dennis on the other. This way, they're hoping to avoid big crowds. They're also telling people to bundle up because it is going to be cold come Sunday morning. And they're also letting people know that there isn't going to be any sort of merchandise giveaway, not a lot of fanfare with it all. Instead, the TTC is saying that they will be celebrating. They will be reaching out to businesses as well in areas that have been affected by this long delay when it is time to celebrate, when they see that the LRT is running smoothly. Because, of course, Bakari and Liz, we are just coming off the opening of the Finch West LRT late last year, a line that's been met with an awful lot of disruptions due to weather, mechanical, technical issues, that sort of thing. So the spotlight is going to be on the Eglinton Crosstown LRT to see if that's going to be a smooth run. Back to you.
Okay, reporting live, CP24's Melissa Duggan.
And the CEO of Metrolinx apologized to customers today for the GO train derailment that caused some major disruptions to service over the last few days.
I'd say that we've been trying to communicate to the best of our ability throughout this entire week. And our focus has obviously been, first and foremost, to repair and to recover from the incident that we had on Monday, which we have done. You will have seen the hardworking ladies and gentlemen that have been in the USRC, the Union Station Rail Corridor, fixing switches and signals. They are almost done. We are testing that infrastructure today, and as our communications to media and the public have said, we hope to return to full service tomorrow.
And Ajax MPP Rob Surjanic is calling for the transportation minister to review how Metrolinx communicates with customers in the wake of the derailment.
This week's derailment at Union Station, too many passengers were left without clear or consistent information. Riders were left unsure about what was happening, how severe the issue was, and when service could be reasonably expected to resume. These communication gaps left commuters in the dark and created unnecessary stress for hundreds of thousands of people. Now, I know residents understand that incidents can happen and that major disruptions cannot always be predicted. But what people don't accept is being left in the dark when they rely on public transit to get to work or home to their families.
Trains have been running on a modified schedule since Monday when a train derailed and damaged the signal system at Union. Lindsay says GO train service has continued to ramp up every day since the derailment.
It's 5:18 -3. This is Live at 5.
And coming up, mogul skier Mikhail Kingsbury and ski cross racer Marielle Thompson carried the Canadian flag in the Livigno for the opening ceremony of the Winter Games. Stats Canada says the economy lost 25,000 jobs in January, but the unemployment rate dropped to 6.5% as fewer people looked for work. January's job losses largely came from the private sector and part-time work and were concentrated among women aged 25 to 54. Stats Canada says manufacturing sector lost 28,000 jobs last month and is down about 51,000 jobs from a year ago before the U.S. President Donald Trump imposed tariffs on Canada.
Well, Canada opened a new consulate in Greenland today. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand raised a Canadian flag at the ceremony. She says raising the flag and opening the consulate shows that Canada stands with the people of Greenland and Denmark on many issues. President Donald Trump has repeatedly signaled his desire for the U.S. to purchase or take control of Greenland in recent weeks.
The Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 opening ceremony is underway. Let's bring in CP24's Arda Zakarian with more on this. Arda?
Liz and Bakari, more than 200 Canadian athletes made their way inside the Olympic opening ceremony today. And among those were the flag bearers, Marielle Thompson and Mikhail Kingsbury. They were holding the flag, and both have said that it is such a great honor, the highest honor that you can achieve. Now, Marielle Thompson won gold in women's ski cross in Sochi in 2014. In Beijing in 2022, she captured a silver medal. Meanwhile, Mikhail Kingsbury has medaled at all 3 Olympic Games that he's competed in. A silver in Sochi in 2014, gold medal win at Pyeongchang in 2018, and a silver medal in Beijing in 2022. We had a chance today to catch up with Brian Orser. He is a Canadian Olympic champion, 2-time silver medalist, and he spoke to us about his time at the Olympics when he was a flag bearer in Calgary in 1988.
For me, especially my second Olympics in Calgary, so it was at home, I had the honor and the privilege to carry the flag into the opening ceremony. So I was the flag bearer. And it was such a perfect script for me because I came in as a reigning world champion. The Olympics were at home. I got asked to carry the flag. I mean, it was perfect. It was, it's just one of those life-changing memories, really.
Brian Orser currently coaches out of the Toronto Cricket, Skating and Curling Club. And right here at Nathan Phillips Square for tomorrow, Saturday, and also Sunday. If you are looking for a watch party, there it is. That's where it's going to be. This is a viewing party, so you can watch some of the competition. You can also try out different sports. There's going to be different kinds of activations and also meet members of Team Canada. There will be many Olympic champions there ready for you to rub shoulders with, and the time is going to be from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. both on Saturday and on Sunday. Back to you.
You know, I love the idea of the activations, but everything is harder than it looks. When it comes to the athletes, make it look easy. It's not.
I wouldn't know.
You're not a skater?
No.
I put you on the spot. I'm so sorry.
I'm a skater. I can do it. No, I know how to skate. Let's just put it that way. I know how to skate. But that would be so cool to have an Olympic athlete there with you, alongside you while you're trying something new. I mean, what better coaching than that?
I got a chance to skate with Elvis Stoico once.
You did?
Yeah, and he did one of these spinner rounds with me, and I'll never forget it. You know, he made it easy for me. But anyway, we'll try it at Nathan Phillips Square. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, it's 5:25 -3. Feels like -9. You're watching live at 5.
And we are counting down to Super Bowl 60 this Sunday. We're going to have a preview of the Seahawks versus the Patriots. All right, this is Super Bowl weekend. The Seattle Seahawks, New England Patriots, they're set to face each other Sunday. Drake May, who finished as runner-up for the Most Valuable Player award, you see him right here practicing alongside his teammates at the Rose Bowl. He led the Patriots to a 14-3 record, winning their division. Despite the success, the Pats are considered underdogs against the upstart Seahawks, led by Sam Darnold. They have not lost a game since mid-November. Now, TSN's Dave Naylor talked to CP24 from the Bay Area about the vibe there ahead of the big game.
I mean, we're going to look to see what both of these quarterbacks are doing. Drake May, just a second-year quarterback. He's coming off just 4 wins last season. He's been coached up really well by Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels, but he's never been in a big game moment like this in the NFL, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles the moment. He's been facing a ton of pressure. He was sacked more than any other quarterback in the postseason, so we'll see how he handles that. I think both teams are going to have a hard time getting their run game going, so we might see some explosive plays, which is great as a fan to see those exciting plays happen. I think we're going to get a bit of a lower scoring game. I think it's going to be a little tighter than maybe people expect. A largely defensive game on both sides of the ball.
All right, TSN's Kara Wagland in the Bay Area telling us what she'll be watching for on Sunday. Currently 5:29 -3. Feels like -9. This is Live at 5.
And we are heading into an extremely cold weekend. Environment Canada issuing a cold warning. It's going to feel like -30 with the wind chill. 16-year-old Keon Sam is Toronto's latest murder victim. This is after he was fatally shot inside a Tim Hortons at Bellamy and Lawrence yesterday afternoon. CP24's Beatrice Vaisman is working on this story.
3 Peel Regional police officers have been suspended in connection with a corruption and organized crime investigation that led to charges against 7 Toronto police officers.
The CEO of the provincial agency that runs Go Transit is apologizing to riders for major delays and disruptions since a train near Union Station derailed earlier this week.
And Environment Canada, they're issued 2 weather alerts for the city. We are under a yellow warning for cold and a special weather statement.
This is Live at 5. Good evening. I'm Bakari Savage.
I'm Liz West. Welcome to Live at 5. Police have identified the teenager killed in a shooting inside a Tim Hortons in Scarborough. They say 16-year-old Keon Sam was shot inside the restaurant at Bellamy and Lawrence yesterday afternoon. And we're going to go live to CP24's Beatrice Faisman. She's outside Agincourt Collegiate, and that's where Keon Sam went to high school. Beatrice?
Liz, Bakari, certainly this Scarborough community is shaken after what happened yesterday afternoon. One of their own, a classmate here at Agincourt Collegiate Institute, gunned down just brutally. People that I've been talking to here, students that I've been talking to here this afternoon, tell me that Keon would have been in grade 11. They had not seen him around this school year, but in previous years described him as just an absolute star on the basketball court. In fact, Toronto police putting out his photo earlier this morning. You see it there on your screen. He looks to be wearing what appears to be a basketball jersey. And really, that's where his classmates say he really shined, that he was kind of the guy that was always getting the crowd hyped up during school basketball games. There's also a video of Keon Sam playing basketball that was posted to a basketball camp that's run by NBA star and soon-to-be Toronto Raptor Chris Paul. He attended this clinic back in September 2022. The clinic posting on social media at that time saying that he was just an outstanding star and played with some of the best in his graduating year. And so students here are choosing to remember him as a basketball player, as a friendly classmate, someone who I'm told, exuded kindness here at school as well. Listen.
Pretty sad, hearing this stuff, because he was a really good person, and it's devastating,
I'm a bit scared because it's I know his brother and stuff. He's a nice guy, and to know that people I know in connections, he got, murdered. It's a bit scary.
People talking about it in school today?
Yeah.
Just feeling scared?
Yeah, feeling scared and stuff. And some people even scared to talk about it in front of others.
Really? How come?
Yeah. They're scared, some people might hurt them, or they think they shouldn't be talking about it.
And that breaks your heart, too. I mean, hearing this kid talking about fear of retribution or fear of getting hurt for talking about one of their classmates being gunned down. We're showing you the video on your screen right now from the scene yesterday. It was just over 24 hours ago at Lawrence and Bellamy, just after 4 o'clock. Police called to that restaurant for someone being shot inside. Police saying last night that there were patrons and staff also inside that Tim Hortons at the time. Thankfully, they were not hurt. Shopper 24 was over the scene as Keon Sam was put into an ambulance and taken to a hospital where now we know, tragically, he died from his injuries. Police have not said anything at all, Bakari and Liz, about any possible suspects or motives here. They've not revealed that they're looking for one person, multiple people involved, nor the circumstances surrounding what happened in the minutes before Sam was shot and killed. Back to that basketball clinic, though, I can tell you we reached out to them for comment this afternoon, and here's what they tell CP24 in a statement. During his time on the court with us, Keon showed a genuine love for basketball and brought tremendous effort and energy to the floor. Our thoughts are with Keon's family, friends, teammates, and the entire Toronto basketball community. We extend our sincerest condolences and join all those mourning the loss of a young life taken far too soon. So again, police and the homicide squad appealing for anyone who may have any information to come forward. That Tim Hortons restaurant remained closed today during this investigation, and certainly any video surveillance footage from inside that location will be incredibly important for police in their investigation as well. Keon Sam, 16 years old, now Toronto's second homicide victim of the year. Back to you guys.
A very difficult day for teachers and students at the school. Thank you so much for that report.
Okay, we also continue to follow the latest on the fallout from Project South. That's the organized crime and corruption probe, which led to the arrest of 7 Toronto police officers. So Peel Police has suspended 3 of its officers. This is in relation to this investigation. But here's the thing. We're going to hear more from Toronto's police chief today. Now, to put this all together, let's bring in CP24's Sija Liu. Sija.
Bakari, Liz, we learned of these explosive allegations yesterday at a news conference, and today we're learning the investigation is widening. No more officers have been charged today, but we have learned that 3 police officers with Peel Regional Police have been suspended. We have been reaching out to different police services across the province today to see just how wide-ranging this investigation is. And in a statement to us, Peel Police say none of its officers have been charged, but stressing that the York Regional Police investigation is wide-reaching and still ongoing. The suspensions are administrative while that work continues. Now, all this comes after York Regional Police released these explosive allegations yesterday on Project South, something they had been working on for 7 months, involving 400 police officers doing the digging. All in all, 7 police officers have been charged and 1 retired officer who are facing a combined 46 charges. Police say this case centers around a plot to kill a senior corrections officer last year, and that confidential police information was released to organized crime groups. There are also serious allegations, including bribery and drug trafficking. And now there are concerns growing about public trust. So the Ontario Inspector General of Policing is considering an independent investigation. Earlier today, we heard more from Toronto Police Chief Myron Demkew on these allegations.
There's been a roller coaster of emotions that you go through as a professional police officer with these types of allegations. And in my 35 years, this is, an incredibly challenging and disappointing moment to have these kind of allegations surface. And as I thought about it over the months, I've gone from disappointed to angry and any number of other feelings you might imagine. But in the end, came to the resolution that a calm, steady resolve to make sure we do everything we need to do to address these issues.
Chief Demkew and Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow have called for systemic changes in the policing service. And earlier today, we also spoke to a criminal defense lawyer, Nick Cake, on the implications this could have beyond the courtroom.
The prosecutors that were involved in these cases, the prosecutors that work with those officers, need to look at every single case, because it comes down to their credibility and their reliability, which is what our justice system is based upon. When we go to a trial, the judge is determining the credibility and the reliability of the officer's statements. And so ultimately, I think every case needs to be looked at, primarily the ones where they were the lead investigators, where they were the ones who gathered evidence or found evidence.
And this hour, there is a bail hearing for Officer Timothy Barnhart. He is one of the officers facing charges. In fact, he is facing the most charges, 17, the most of anyone in this investigation, including serious allegations of drugs, guns, and providing an address tied to that alleged murder plot. We are still awaiting for that bail decision, Bakari and Liz. No word just yet on if that is denied or approved.
Okay, joining us live from the 401 studio, CP24, Sija Liu.
And the mercury is on its way down. A cold warning's in effect for the GTHA. Environment Canada says wind chills near -30 are expected tonight into tomorrow morning. Now, similar conditions can be expected Saturday night into Sunday. There's also a special weather statement in effect. Strong winds later today could ease this evening. The winds could cause local blowing snow as well.
If you look at the snow on average in February, March, April, May, we still get on average about 40 centimeters in that period, or about 40% of our annual snowfall. So we still have some snow to come, but my gosh, we already had a year's supply plus, and this cold is unrelentless. It's absolutely getting people down. I mean, it's frigid fatigue we're suffering from, and it really has been a tough haul for sure.
It is relentless, and the city says its warming centers remain open to help bring vulnerable people in from the cold. The city also says surge and additional shelter spaces remain open, and there are extended hours at daytime drop-in centers. A list of locations can be found on the city's website.
Okay, right now it's 5:41. Let's get a check on the commute, starting with CP24's traffic specialist, Adjoa Nsiah-Yeboah. After that, we'll have an update from the TTC. Adj.
Yeah, we will. And if you're making your way out on the major routes, I'm going to do my best to get you through. We're dealing with this light snow and problems happening now through Burlington. So this is the Niagara-bound lanes of the QEW. Multi-vehicle collision happened on the approach to Brant. It's the two left lanes that are blocked, and that's really, really impacting the drive for commuters just trying to make their way home. Slowdowns extend now from well before Appleby line. As well, issues are still with us. Actually, they might have cleared, and they did. So this is on the 401 if you're traveling westbound, just as you make your way past the 409. We had the left lane blocked to the collision that cleared, and then we have a little bit of a situation that could be here for some time. No emergency crews on scene yet, but this is the 401 westbound just as you make your way past Dixie. Looks like a collision and one vehicle ended up over that center median. A lot of snow through there, probably ended up in that right lane and then hydroplaning on to that center median. Drive with a bit of extra care as well. With the snow coming down, it is reducing visibility, and no problems on the DVP. Actually starting to get a little bit thinner traffic-wise. Just slowdowns from Don Mills, and it continues busy as you make your way all the way up to the 401. Now I'm going to send it over to Adrian Grundy at the TTC Transit Control Center. Adrian, hearing of issues on TTC Line 1, are they still happening?
Yeah, that's right. Right now we are having some issues at Yorkdale. There is a police investigation underway there. We're currently turning back service between Wilson and Lawrence West Station. So best advice is just stay close to ttc.ca. Look for those live updates and also on X at TTC notices. We do expect this situation to clear soon, but do keep an eye out there. Also heading out to Line 6, we do have an issue at Finch and Westmore. There is a collision investigation underway. So no service between Humber College Station and Martin Grove. Buses are supplementing that service. Now, just on the surface network, one problem to be aware of, if you are taking the streetcar 512 at St. Clair West Station, we're only using the westbound platform there. There is a water main break that we're dealing with, so just using the westbound platform there for both bounds. As I said, keep an eye on ttc.ca for all the current live updates. With that, Liz Bakari, send it back to you.
Adrian Grundy, thanks so much. Right now it's 5:43 -3. This is Live at 5.
Premier Doug Ford is ruling out a public inquiry into the Eglinton Crosstown LRT. The long-delayed and over-budget transit line is set to open this Sunday. More on that ahead. Premier Doug Ford has ruled out calling a public inquiry into the Eglinton Crosstown LRT with the long overdue and over budget line just 2 days away from opening. CP24's Melissa Duggan joins us with more on this. Melissa?
Hey there, Liz. Bakari. So the wait almost over. Sunday, the big day that we're counting down to right now, when the Eglinton Crosstown LRT will be up and running. I'm standing along Eglinton right now near Victoria Park, one of the stops where we'll see trains stopping on Sunday, dropping off passengers, picking them up. Of course, it has been a long time coming. We're talking about 6 years ago is when we were thinking this would be up and running. It's been a long time coming since then. The budget, it is way over what was originally planned, more than $1 billion. So all of that kind of prompting some questions. Should there be a public inquiry into what happened here? Councillor Josh Matlow, he is one of the public officials saying that, yes, there should be some sort of investigation into what he calls mismanagement, incompetence. Why did we have to wait so long? We know some of the reasons already. The pandemic was involved. Also, construction delays, lawsuits also involved with all of that. That leading up to this very long delayed Line 5 arrival. We were talking to people today in this area. Did they think that a public inquiry should be put in place? Here's what they're telling us.
In terms of transit in Toronto, it's taken the longest. And, you know, one of the reasons I moved to Yonge and Eglinton was for that, and it has not happened.
I do believe that we should have some sort of investigation as to why it has been so over budgeted.
New stuff is always going to be problems. Hopefully they learn from it.
I've seen a lot of notices on the bus stops, and I did check it out myself, and
it, like you said, it's a waste of money because nothing's going to change.
We did hear from Premier Doug Ford on this question today. He and other officials from all levels of government were together for a plaque unveiling for Line 5, signaling that, yes, it is coming our way real soon. He was asked about this public inquiry question. He is ruling it out, saying that he's been transparent, that he's looking forward instead of backward, especially to new subway lines like the Ontario line, and also just saying that it would be a waste of time to carry out such a probe. Here are some more of his comments.
We all know the mistakes, Richard, and we've acknowledged them and we've learned. All the stakeholders, Metrolinx, DTC, we're all in it together, and I'm the first to come out and acknowledge the mistakes. But I'm not going to waste time on inquiry and all the nonsense, tie all these people up. All these people here have more subways to build. Metrolinx, TTC, so that's what we're going to focus on. We all acknowledge. It'd be different if we didn't acknowledge it, but yeah, has it been a nightmare for all of us? 100%.
You know, it was only on Tuesday when we got the official word from the TTC CEO, Mandeep Lawley, that this line would actually be opening on Sunday, February 8th. That date kind of had some speculation around it for some time, but it wasn't until Tuesday when we got the official word. So just 5 days notice in the dead of winter is when we're going to see Toronto's new transit line officially roll out. It will be free for all passengers on Sunday along Line 5 only. And the TTC encouraging people to hop on at different spots along the line, not just at Mount Dennis on that side or Kennedy on that side, but along the way just to avoid any big crowds because people certainly want to check it out. Listen, this is a big deal. And obviously, Bakari and Liz, we've been waiting a long time for it.
It is a big deal. And only 2 more sleeps, Melissa.
Yes.
Thanks for that report.
Well, also, the CEO of Metrolinx apologizing to transit riders, customers today, for the GO train derailment that caused major disruptions to service over the last few days.
I am here to answer any questions on camera. We have tried to communicate to customers as well as to media. We could always do better, but I promise you we'll continue to be as transparent as we can be about GO service and its status.
Well, Ajax MPP Rob Serjanik calling for the transportation minister to review how Metrolinx communicates with customers in the wake of the derailment.
Clear, honest, and timely communication. It must be treated as an essential part of service delivery. And that means being proactive, thinking ahead. When communication is vague or delayed, it leaves commuters unable to plan or make informed choices. And this isn't something new. And it makes you wonder, is Metrolinx directing their own communications, or is it coming straight from the Minister of Transportation's office or even the Premier's office? Now, Metrolinx is a provincial agency, and political leadership in this government should be setting that direction. Right now, it's not. The province is nowhere to be found.
Well, trains have been running on a modified schedule since Monday. That's when a train derailed, damaging the signal system at Union. Lindsay says GO train service has continued to ramp up every day since that derailment.
It's 5:51, -3, feels like -9. This is Live at 5.
Well, coming up, mogul skier Mikael Kingsbury and ski cross racer Marielle Thompson carried the Canadian flag in Livigno for the opening ceremony of the Winter Games.
The Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 are officially underway following today's opening ceremony. Let's bring in CP24's Arda Zakarian with more on this. Arda?
Liz and Bakari, more than 200 Olympians made their way into the Olympic opening ceremony, and it was wonderful to see so many Canadians participating, including the 2 flag bearers. We have Marielle Thompson and Mikael Kingsbury. They are Canadian Olympic champions, and both of them have said that it's such a great honor to be carrying this flag. And where can you watch this? Where are some watch parties? Here at home, you can watch some competitive action at Nathan Phillips Square this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. And we actually had a chance to catch up with Maude Charon. She helped plan this event. She's also a Canadian gold medalist in weightlifting.
It's an inclusive space for Canadians to come together here in downtown Toronto. We'll have a watch live section to watch competition. You will have different sport present, so youth can try different sport, and the goal is to spark the interest. So we'll have Hockey Canada here, Speed Skates Canada, Curling Canada. So the goal is really to allow people to join and cheer on Team Canada, try out sport, grab some skates, and skate on the ice rink here down there. It's free. It's accessible to everybody.
Maud Sharon will be there along with other Olympians, so it's your chance to get up close and personal with some of these Olympic champions. And it's not just a time to watch. You can also try out different sports, like Maud said. It all happens at Nathan Phillips Square from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., both Saturday and on Sunday. Back to you both. Okay, CP24's Artis Zakarian joining us live from the studio. And don't forget, you can drink early, starting at 6 a.m. because of the games, right? Goes along with it. Right now it's 5:59, -3. This is Live at 5, CP24.
Thanks so much for watching. CTV News at 6 is next.